Hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Bracha HaKudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. A salutation and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four winds of the earth. All right. Today's in transit. I'm gonna entitle Montgomery Brawl, My Spiritual 2 Cents. And of course, this happened, about 6 days ago. This brawl that took place on the Montgomery, Alabama riverfront. And it was pretty much went viral. The video, you got all different type of angles that went down, but basically it was a Jacob versus Esau scenario. All right, and the whole ordeal was spiritual. You know what I'm saying? And before we get into the scriptures, I want to read this article because I believe this article will set the tone of the scriptures that I have written down concerning that brawl that took place. Brothers have done videos. I actually only seen brothers' titles to the videos. I haven't watched any of them. As of yet. Videos go up so fast and so often. You find yourself watching one video, you pause that, take care of some business or whatever the case is, and you come back and it's all kind of videos uploaded. But the point being is, this is just going to be my spiritual 2 cents, and Lord will, there's edification that comes from this video to the hopeful elect out there. Mainly you new believers. Because brothers that have been around, that's in the spirit. I'm sure they probably thought the same way that I'm thinking through the spirit concerning this brawl that took place between Jacob and Esau. And that was a small, what you would say, that was just a little taste of what's really gonna happen. All right, that was just a little taste of what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is truly gonna do when this thing continues to escalate, because that's not over. In Esau's mind, it ain't over. All right, Esau not just gonna go out like that. And I ain't talking about just that family that got body rocked, but I'm talking about Edomites in general, because the social media was already in the uproar. Jake was clowning, all the chair memes and the remixes to the video, the different memes that came forth from it. But then you got the other side of that, which is Esau. Which Esau was pretty upset. They were upset. They were mainly upset about the woman getting cracked over the dome with that chair. So you Jakes, man, Esau not gonna let that. He not just gonna let that slide. That Esau don't get down like that. You know, Esau wants him. He gonna get his revenge. But ultimately, Jacob is gonna win. Okay. So before I go into the scriptures, I want to read this article concerning that brawl and the site that it took place at, all right? Which makes it a lot more spiritual than what the eye saw to me, all right? Yeah, Jacob and Esau, you know, got it in, and, you know, Jake swimming across the river, you know, get up on top of the deck and just start body slamming. You know, it was entertaining, and it was beautiful to see Jake come together and form like Voltron to help out another Jake. Right? Which that's all spiritual. But anyway, let's get to this article. The article is entitled Site of Alabama Riverfront Brawl has a dark racist history. Some see the melee as a full circle moment. Well, that ain't no full circle, because that was just a fight. You know, didn't nobody die at that site. So it ain't full circle at all, not even close. Okay? That was just a tussle that went down. Because full circle would be Edomites being sold and bread. Okay? That would be full circle. So anyway, let's read. It says, and by the way, this is off of the Atlanta Black Star, which I'm sure it's a black thing. You know, Jake love that word black, man. And this was published August 8th, 2023. The hopeful year that all prophecy come to pass, all Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai prophecy come to pass, all right? And we looking good. You know what I'm saying? Lord will, they all come to pass. Hey, but we I would say the timing is perfect on how the Most High is allowing this thing to move, okay? So let's read this article. It says, the brawl that broke out in Montgomery, Alabama on August 5th at the Riverfront Park happened near a historical site with a racist past. It says downtown Montgomery used to be the site of domestic slavery trade in the state, and enslaved people were transported on the Alabama River and unloaded at the dock on Commerce Street. It says the chaotic scene that was divided between race lines reportedly began after a black co-captain on the Harriet II riverboat asked the owner of a pontoon boat to move because it was parked in the spot of the waiting dinner cruise boat carrying multiple passengers. He was attacked by multiple white people after they refused to move their boat, and several black men came to his aid after witnessing the attack. It says, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Nicole Hannah-Jones noted Montgomery's long racist history and the fact that the city recently elected Democrat Stephen Reed its first black mayor in more than 60% in the more than 60% black city. So that's You know, I remember when I went to Atlanta, I ain't never seen so many Negroes in my life, man. And I'm not bullshitting. You know, living out here out west is real diverse. You know, and a lot of the Negroes out here are really Gadites. Or you know, Jake that think they Negroes, majority of them are Gadites. You know? But then you have the Spanish-speaking tribes out here. The tribe of Issachar, the tribe of Zebulon. All right? And, you know, they basically are the dominant tribes out west out here, man. Okay? So when I went to Atlanta, it was nothing but Negroes everywhere. It was a culture shock to me. So this is the type of city Montgomery is. Negroes everywhere. It says, if you understand the history of Montgomery, one of the most prolific slave trading cities in the U.S. turned brutally repressive apartheid regime after a majority black but just got its first black mayor. And the word apartheid means separate or segregation, all right? So this was one of those super racist ass cities going back to post to slavery, post no more bringing slaves from Africa. But what they did was, and it's gonna tell you, they started to breed, okay? They started to breed slaves in Montgomery, Alabama, all right? It says it gives so much more perspective to this video. Trust, Hannah Jones said in the tweet. All right, it says, Hannah Jones added that the site of the Brawl is the same spot where Africans, which they weren't Africans, they were Israelites, Jews of the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, all right, which are today the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah being the so-called Negro, the tribe of Benjamin being the West Indian, so-called, and the tribe of Levi being the so-called Haitian. These were the predominant tribes, all right, that was traded as slaves throughout North, Central, and South America, and what we know today as the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, those were the predominant tribes that was put on boats and packed in like sardines so that they can have slaves to build up what we know as America today. Okay. It says, starting at it says Hannah Jones added that the site of the Brawl is the same spot where Africans or Israelites in bondage were unloaded and marched while in chains into the center of town to be sold off into slavery. The act of prohibiting importation of slaves of 1807 banned the importation of captured enslaved persons from other nations into the United States. So that act stopped Esau from going to the west coast of Africa or any other country where he was getting the tribes to come and serve slavery. But this is what these devils did, all right? It says, however, between 1808 and 1860, all right, we're talking about 52 years, Alabama's enslaved population increased from 40,000 to more than 435,000, making Montgomery one of the largest slave trading communities in the country. So they had it going on with the slavery, so to speak. They was breeding Jake like animals, man. Okay? They were breeding Jake like animals in a span of 52 years for it to go up basically 400%. From 40,000 to 435,000. The slave population grew in the matter of 52 years. All right, it went up 400,000. Okay, it says making Montgomery one of the largest slave trading communities in the country. The Montgomery Probate Office granted at least 164 licenses to traders of enslaved Africans during that time. All right. It says Alabama also has a storied past of racism. The city of Selma is known for a racist attack called Bloody Sunday because of the beatings that occurred on the Edmund Pettus Bridge after civil rights activists marched during a voting rights campaign on March 7, 1965. My mother was 2 years old when this took place. So this ain't that long ago. All right? Where Esau was committing all this wickedness on the planet, man. It says the protesters were marching from Selma to Montgomery when Alabama state troopers beat them with nightsticks and fired tear gas at the group of men. See, Esau's been a terrorist for the longest. At the group of men, women, and children. The group was also marching in honor of Jimmy Lee Jackson, a black man who was shot and killed on February 18th by an Alabama state trooper for defending his mother during a peaceful civil rights demonstration. So Jake been getting the short end of the stick for the longest. Okay? But that brawl signified a change in the spirit. All right? A change in the spirit that brawl signified. This is why you see Jake on the internet talking about that. They wasn't even there, but it did something to them. It did something to their insides. All right? And that's the spirit of the Lord. Okay? That's what that is. That's the spirit of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai rousing Jake up. To see Jake come to one another's aid, it did something to these Jakes out here that's that they've been waiting to happen. You know, they've been waiting on to happen. Okay? It says the Montgomery Police Department was called to the scene of the brawl at around 7 p.m. to detain several reckless individuals for attacking a man who was doing his job. And that's Esau for you, man. When you read in the book of Exodus, when we had came out of Egypt, it was Esau that he was the first nation to fuck with us by killing off the the elderly, all right, when we passed through. Okay? He was that first nation. He was the first of the nations. That's what it means when you read in the book of Numbers. Esau was the first of the nations, meaning he was the first of the nations to fuck with us after the Lord had just destroyed those Egyptians, Pharaoh and his army. Okay? It says, during a press conference on Tuesday, Montgomery Police Chief Daryl J. Albert revealed that there are currently 4 warrants awaiting execution for the arrest of 3 white men who were on a private pontoon boat. Those men are Richard Roberts, Alan Todd, and Zachary Shipman. They are accused of assaulting Damian Pickett, who serves as a co-captain on the Harriet II riverboat. Many on Black Twitter saw the brawl as a full circle moment, which Jake don't understand. That ain't close to no damn full circle moment, because them niggas still gotta work on that boat, still in captivity. That was just a small taste of what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua has stirred up and what he has brewed up. All right, that's exactly what that was. It was nothing more, nothing less, but it was a spiritual inclination for Jake. All right, and the Most High did it. Okay. For one, we just read the significance of the area. Okay. That area has significant history behind it and significant I would say shame and defamation to the children of Israel, predominantly the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay? So, without any further ado, we're going to go into these scriptures. Now, as you see, the police released the names of three guys, three Edomites, excuse me, that will be charged with assault. But then Jake, on the other hand, you releasing the name of the 16-year-old kid who swam across the river to help. And you don't think Esau is doing his research? And that's why I say this is the Most High's doing, because it's the Most High he works on both sides, man. Because prophecy has to be fulfilled before anything. And this indeed, to me, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, this indeed is a prelude in the spirit and a stir up by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua to make things escalate between the two, Jacob and Esau. Okay? And I'm going to show you some examples in the scriptures so you can understand that this was that. This was Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua stirring the pot, all right, to get things popping, man. All right, so the first scripture we're going to go to is in the book of excuse me, man. The book of 1 Kings, the 11th chapter, all right? This is where we're going to go first. First Kings chapter 11, verse 14. Okay, it says, now the title Esau got up on here is God raises adversaries. And trust and believe you me, just as the Most High stirs up spirits and we read about it, he still does it to this day. All right? And best believe that them Edomites that watch their people get their ass whooped, you know, that a grandmother of their nation get cracked with a chair, a folding chair. It didn't sit right with them. It stirs something up in them, just like it stirs something up in Jake. Okay. So this is and you've seen Edomites online. You could tell that they were stirred up. You know, the main thing that pissed me off is that you had a bunch of grown men cheering and clapping when this older woman gets hit in the head with the chair. You know, these are the things that they're saying online. And then Jake is responding to their, you know, what they, of what they're responding. You know, basically saying basically in a nutshell, we don't give a fuck about that old Edomite woman getting cracked over the head. Okay? Spirits have been stirred up on both sides. And this is what's going to bring about the scripture of the Most High having the sons of Yasha Allah against the sons of the Grecian. Okay? So let me read this in 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 14. Excuse me. It says, and Yahweh stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was the king's seed in Edom. Okay? And the reason I'm bringing that out is because the Most High stirred it up. All right? Now, this is how the Most High stirred it up. We're going to read a little bit. But let's look up this word stirred. Let's look this word up. In the Hebrew, right? It says, the Hebrew word for stirred is quam. All right? We know quam as to rise. All right? Or raise. To arise, to stand, to be fixed. All right? Valid, proven, fulfilled. To cause to arise, to set up, erect, or build. All right? To raise up, rouse, stir up. All right? So during the time of King Solomon, the Most High stirred up Edomite. And this is why he stirred up this Edomite. Okay? It says, verse 15, for it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom, for 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every male in Edom. That Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him to go into Egypt. It says, Hadad being yet a little child, okay? A child. But the Most High still stirred him up, all right? And raised him up. It says, and they rose of Midian and came to Paran, and they took men with them out of Paran, and they came to Egypt. And Pharaoh, king of Egypt, which gave him an house and appointed him victuals, gave him land. So here it is, this Edomite that had to flee and witness his people get slaughtered. This is who the Most High stirred up as an enemy. So just as them Edomites got their ass whooped, the old hag Edomite got cracked in the head with that chair, best believe it's Edomites looking to get some payback. And it don't have to be Edomites in Montgomery, Alabama. All right? We've been at war with this nation since the beginning. And it ain't gonna stop. So going back, verse 19, and Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, so that he gave him to wife the sister of his own life. Oh, I'm sorry, the sister of his own wife, the sister of Taphnes, the queen. It says, and the sister of Taphnes bare him Genubath, his son, whom Taphnes weaned in Pharaoh's house, and Genubath was in Pharaoh's household among the sons of Pharaoh. Okay? It says, verse 21, and when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, and that Joab, the captain of the host, was dead, Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me depart, that I may go to mine own country. And this is where he's being stirred up in the spirit, because he kept that from when he was a child, of what Joab and King David did to his people. Just like Esau, when he goes overseas and he slaughters off the men in these Middle East villages, all right? Those little boys over there who witnessed their father being put to death have a deep hatred for this place. Okay? Same difference with Hadad against the Israelites. He saw Israel come in there and just totally demolish his people. Okay? So, like I said, best believe that the Most High is raising up Edomites, and that Brawl got Edomites to get back into that Edomite spirit, that fully hatred spirit towards you Jakes, man. Okay? I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, you could go and you can read the entire chapter. I wanted to read to let me see. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let me read up a little more. Verse 22. Then Pharaoh said unto him, but what hast thou lacked with me, that behold, thou seekest to go to thine own country? And he answered, nothing. Howbeit, let me go in any wise. And the Most High stirred him up another adversary, Rezon, the son of Eliadah, which fled from his lord Hadad-Zar, king of Zobah, and he gathered men unto him, and became captain over a brand. When David slew them of Zobah, and they went to Damascus and dwelt therein, and they went to Damascus and dwelt therein, and reigned in Damascus. It says, and he was an adversary to Israel all the days of Solomon, beside the mischief that Hadad did, and he abhorred Israel and reigned over Syria. So you got Edomites right now in that Hadad spirit who abhor Jake. All right? They abhor Jake, man. Okay? They want Jake out of there. Okay, next scripture I have is the book of Judges. Excuse me, let me get it. The book of Judges. I think I'm gonna start at yeah, I'll start at 1 just to build it up. It says, and Samson went down to Timnath, and saw a woman of Timnath, of the daughters of the Philistines, which means she was a heathen woman. Okay? And he came up and told his father and his mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore, get her to wife for me. It says, verse 3. Then his father and his mother said unto him, Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? And Samson said unto his father, Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. It says, Salaki. It says, but his father and his mother knew not that it was of Yahweh. Okay? The reason Samson didn't want an Israelite woman is because the Most High put it in Samson's spirit not to want an Israelite woman. Why? Let's read on. It says, verse 4, but his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord, that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Okay? So, as you can see, on Israel's side, the Most High will stir things up. And in this case, he used Samson and the Philistine woman. All right? When you look up this word occasion, let's look it up in the Hebrew. In the Hebrew, okay? The Hebrew word for occasion is ba'ana, all right? Ba'ana, which means, I'm sorry, not ba'ana, fa'ana. Fa'ana, Salaki. It says, occasion, time of heat, or oestrus, or copulation. It says here, sexual drive. Occasion, opportunity for a quarrel. All right? And when you look up the word quarrel, okay, and this is why I believe that the Most High was, well, we know the Most High was behind that 100%. But these are the scriptures to prove it. When you look up that word quarrel, it means dispute, altercation. All right. Also, ground for complaint. Matter, concern, controversy. All right. So with the judge Samson, okay, the Most High used Samson to want a Philistine woman so that he can make a dispute against the Philistines. All right? So that he wanted a quarrel with the Philistines. It was time for the Philistines to get their ass whooped. Okay? And this is how the Most High did it. So, fast forward to August 5th, 2023, Montgomery, Alabama, at the riverboat cruises, all right, the Most High wanted to stir up some shit amongst the Edomites and Jake over there, because he want a quarrel between the two. All right? The Most High wants to quarrel between so-called black people and so-called white people, which really are Esau and Edom. And this goes back even to the beginning of their conception. Let's go to the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter. All right? The beginning of their conception, they were separated. All right? You can also link that with Luke, the 16th chapter, with the rich man and Lazarus, dealing with Jacob and Esau. All right? The separation that was put there, not only here at Jacob and Esau, but even at the beginning with the serpent and the woman. Okay? So this is Genesis chapter 25, verse 25. Well, I'm going to start at 24. Okay? And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And these twins are Jacob and Esau that was born of her, all right? And the first came out red. Well, matter of fact, I'm sorry. Let me start up. I didn't even get the meat that I wanted off of that bone, all right? I'm going to start at 20, okay? Genesis 25 and 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padanaram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian, okay? And it's a reason why the Most High he told Abraham to have Isaac get a daughter from his people, all right? The Syrians. This is why Deuteronomy 23 and 7 is written, thou shalt not abhor a Syrian, because eventually they will become our people, all right? This is why the Most High used them to bring about the tribes, okay? This is why we're not to abhor them, all right? It says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her from time of inception or conception of the egg being fertilized. And when the boys began to grow in Rebekah's womb, they struggled, meaning they fought, even in the womb. Okay, because these were two spirits that was coming back in the earth that the Lord was going to use to star, for lack of a better word, in his movie, which is our reality. And out of these two boys came the two righteous, well, not the two righteous, but the righteous and the wicked people of the planet Earth. All other people are just extras, okay? You want to talk about good versus evil, you got to be talking about Jacob versus Esau, all right? You got to be talking about the so-called black man versus the so-called white man, all right? That's the true battle of good and evil, and it begins spiritually. And this is goes back to the inception of it. This goes back to the birth of these two nations and the enmity the Heavenly Father had put between them, going back all the way to the beginning. It was reborn in the earth as Jacob and Esau, okay? It says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. You know, you ever see a woman with a big stomach that's pregnant? And, you know, just imagine that but it's constantly rumbling and moving. She can't even be comfortable because the babies was in her stomach just fighting, because that's what they were doing. All right, when you look up the word struggle, let's look it up, man. See, this is what it means when you gotta, when you hear the apostles say you gotta put yourself in these scriptures, man. You gotta really do that, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, if you've ever seen a pregnant woman who's about to bust, how uncomfortable she is, you know, it's hard for her to get comfortable. Just imagine that plus 2 babies in there constantly struggling with one another. This is what forced her to go get and inquire of the Lord. All right, so let's look up this word struggle, okay, in the 22nd verse. The word struggle means, or the Hebrew word is ratazah. All right, ratazah what is that? Salakia. Ratazah. All right, ratazah, and it means to crush, oppress, to crush, get crushed, be crushed, to crush, oppress. So they were in there bumping shoulders, laying on top of each other, kicking each other. All right, and this is all going on in her womb. So even before they came into the earth, all right, before they came through that birth canal, they were oppressing one another, okay, crushing one another. All right, so let's go back, finish it out. Verse 23, it says, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right? And that's what I wanted out of that. Okay? And this is what we saw at Montgomery, Alabama. We saw 2 separate people, all right, that's been fighting since the womb, all right, and still fighting to this day and can't get along and will never get along. Now you have those that think it's, you know, my best friend is black, this, you know, the old country ass white boys, and then you got them jakes that think that they actually got white friends or Edomite friends. Let me say it like that, because you do have Jake that look like white people, but we talking about Jacob and Esau. All right, Israel and Edom. This is a spiritual thing before it becomes a colored thing, man, because you got Edomites that look like black people, and you got black people that look like Edomites, and that all happened during slavery. And that's Matthew the 13th chapter, dealing with the wheat and the tares. Okay, Esau being that wicked one that's sown amongst our women, and he did that during slavery. We've seen the movies, but that's a, you know, topic for another time. All right, but the point being, the so-called white man and the so-called black man have been at odds since birth, and up until August 5th, 2023, on a carnal level, Esau has had the upper hand. All right, but that was the stirring up of Esau losing that upper hand, because what took place? Jake came out of nowhere and beat the shit out of them white boys that jumped on that one Jake when he was just trying to do his job. And Jake all around the planet, all right, felt that. Not only did they feel that, but they feeling what them Africans are doing, because they really think they Africans. Regardless of the fact, the Most High is stirring up this, all right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is stirring up Jake against Esau. As a matter of fact, when you go to Genesis, the 49th chapter, and I ain't gonna lie, man, keep it 100. I saw a few videos that, you know, got me a little emotional as far as, you know, as Jake was feeling it. But I know and understand what's happening through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. I would never, you know what I'm saying, go against the prophecies of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, or put myself in a position to where I'm in the midst of some bullshit like that, you know, knowing that it's going to eventually get deadly. All right, we're the prophets. We're just to report on these things, but we still, you know, have that love for our people. You know, we you know, naturally we peaceful and you know, we love our people. So it was a couple videos I saw of Jake that's tired of the bullshit, you know, and they were getting emotional in their little video, and it, you know, it kind of got me emotional with them. But I understand the scriptures. I know what time it is. Jake still think they niggas in black. All right. So this is the Most High beginning to rouse Judah up. Okay? Because Jake ain't gonna come to the word, you know what I'm saying, like he's supposed to. But the Most High got ways of waking Jake up to his enemy. And that was one of them incidents that the Most High had happen that the world saw. All right? The world saw that Jake ain't finna let no white boys do him like they've been doing. And they telling you this all throughout social media. You know what I'm saying? You got Jake from all walks of life. I'm talking about gangsters getting all emotional in the camera, talking about uniting. We know what's up. That's a demon. That's a you know, something that needs to happen. It has to happen because it's prophecy. You know what I'm saying? It's finna be all out war out here, man. All kind of wars. And that was an incident that stirred up that spirit. Okay? Because Jake is really emotional about that. Jake is really proud of one another. They didn't shot this man's the boy that swam across the river. They sent him so much money in his Cash App that ESAP, well, from what I heard, when it got up to about 150,000, Esau clipped his Cash App. You know what I'm saying? So that touched Jake. Jake, it did something to Jake, to where they sending money, you know what I'm saying, and they clowning all over the internet about it. This is the prophecy. And that's just one, like I said, it's just a small thing, but it's a spark. All right? And one spark could burn down a whole village. All right? And this is what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is doing. Genesis, the 49th chapter, in the 9th verse. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? So Jake went through phases here in Babylon, man. Okay? Judah in particular. All right? The so-called Negro in America. The most oppressed man on the planet Earth. And the reason he's the most oppressed is because he's the head tribe of the nation of Israel. And furthermore, the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, all right, that's the tribe Yahweh Shai came from. And all the tribes come from Judah. All right? The scripture tell you, was that Isaiah 48? Let me get that real quick. That they come from the waters of Judah. Okay, Jeremiah 40. Is it Jeremiah 48 or Isaiah 48? Let me think. I think it's Isaiah 48. Bear with me. Yeah, Isaiah 48:1. It says, "Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by my name." Salakia, let me get over. Reading it from the top again. It says, "Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by my name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah." All right? Judah, what you would say in the Hebrew is Yahweh-dah. All right? Yahweh-dah, which is praise Yahweh when you loosely translate it. This is the head tribe. This is the tribe Yahweh Shai came from. All right? The so-called Negro. The Most High himself will be considered a so-called Negro. All right? So this is why Judah was oppressed the most, because he is the head tribe and he is the head man of the planet Earth, beginning with our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai. All right? King David come from the tribe of Judah. All right? So this is why the so-called black man is so oppressed in this society. All right? And all around the world, is because he is the head tribe of the nation of Israel, and the Most High is raising them up in these last days. Because when you read on back in Genesis, it tells you, let me finish this here. You know, Isaiah 48, it says, "Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Lord Yahweh, and make mention of the power of Israel, but not in truth nor in righteousness." All right? But the point I wanted from that was the waters of Judah. All right? The so-called black man is the top man on the planet Earth, and we all come from him. All right? We gonna all, if you don't look like, don't have that look, because Israel is scattered amongst everybody, we gonna get that regal look back. All right? All the tribes, but you know, because the Most High is different. All right? But we all gonna have that regal look of Judah, you know, with a difference though. You know, ain't gonna be no I mean, you're gonna always have light skin and dark skin, all right, but that blonde pasty ass look like Edomites, nah, that's gonna be a thing of the past. Ain't gonna be no more Israelites that look like white people, man. Okay? It will that was a confusion to face for our transgression. That's what the Most High did. Okay? But anyway, when you go back to Genesis 49 and you read, it says, "Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise." All right? And what else did you see on social media after Judah did that in Montgomery, Alabama? Not only did you have Negroes getting turned up about it in the spirit, but you even had Latinos, so-called Latinos, which are the cousins of the brothers. Let me say it like that: the brothers. All right, and we all cousins in one way, shape, fashion, or form, but we all family. All right. They were even getting hyped over it because that's what the nation is waiting on. They waiting on Judah. That's what, because when Judah get it popping, the tribe is gonna follow. As a matter of fact, let me read it. All right. Genesis 49:8, it says, Judah, thou art he whom thine brethren shall praise. This is why they put up, oh shit, damn. I'm so in the spirit, I tripped. I thought that was the green light. The water Yahweh Shemal Shah. Dude was paying attention. I'm in the spirit like Salaki. So reading that again. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. And ultimately, that's speaking of Yahweh, because when Yahweh Shah turns, we going to all bow. But Judah's going to get his honor, all right, even amongst the other tribes, okay, because he's been on the bottom when he's the head tribe, all right? And this is why they always get the so-called black man to set these wicked trends. They get these Negroes that'll sell out, all right, and push Esau's agenda. Okay, but again, going back to Montgomery, Alabama, the Most High is getting ready to start to reverse that. And as you can see, wicked Negroes is getting called out by Jake. That's just regular Jake that see what the hell's going on and that see that they need to band together. They calling out niggas that ain't for the cause. Okay? And it's Judah that's rousing up like that, man. The so-called black man. And that Montgomery Brawl is proof that the Most High is rousing him up. All right? It says, thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. That part. And that's literal. And that's what you saw at the Montgomery Brawl. Just a little taste, though. Just a little taste. You saw Judah's hand in the neck of his enemies. That 16-year-old boy jumped on that dock and judo slammed one of them goddamn Edomites and was throwing hands. You know? But again, the flip side of that, Esau ain't gonna be good. Esau plotting. And Esau don't fight fair, as we saw. You know? So I believe that through the spirit, that's getting ready to start some shit. All right? Because I believe when Esau strike, he getting ready to strike and he gonna kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? They gonna kill somebody. So don't be surprised if you see a Jake strung up and hanging. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of energy that's being pushed out there. This is the type of spirit that the Most High is stirring up. We just read the Most High stirs up the adversaries, man. The Most High is rousing Jacob to stand up against this damn devil. I hate to see some recording. Well, actually, I'd love to see it because I want to see how Jake gonna react off of that. A full-blown recording of an unlawful, a new one I'm saying, an unlawful and unjustified shooting of a so-called either young black man, young black woman, of law enforcement, and see how Jake is on fire right now. Let something like that happen, man. Jake gonna burn some shit down. You know? That's the spirit the Most High is putting Jake now. Okay, we in that time. Putting Jake in that warlike spirit. Okay, that's the time we living in. War. That's pretty much it on that. I think I finished it in Judges. Let me go back and check. Because that's pretty much my 2 cents. Okay? Like we was reading here in Judges, the 14th chapter, how Samson's mother and his father, they didn't know what the Most High was doing. The Most High wanted to pick a fight. And that's why the Most High had them Edomites be stubborn the way they were. And jump on Jake the way they did. Because the Most High wanted to stir up a fight. That's what happened. And it stirred up a spirit in Jake throughout all of Babylon. And I already mentioned them Africans. Them so-called Africans. All right? Those, not all of them are Ham. All right? But that spirit of rousing up over against the Edomite over there, the so-called white man over there, is coming to the States. And it's turning physical. Jake is getting physical. That's why I say I hate to see, or I would love to see. I keep saying I hate to see it, meaning, you know, a figure of speech, what Jake could do if an unlawful, unjustified killing of an innocent Jake is done with camera footage and all that to a so-called young black man, young black woman, or older, or whatever, you know, and they use deadly force. Jake is on the brink of, you know, losing it and banding together to lose it. That's the spirit that's out there, and the Most High put it out there, man. That's the point of this video. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has stirred that up, because prophecy has to ensue. All right? Oh, damn, tablet is not going to the chapter. It's frozen. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to read this again in the book of Judges, the 14th chapter. It says, but his father and his, Judges 14:4, but his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord, that he sought an occasion against the Philistines, for at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Okay? So the Most High used that situation in Montgomery, Alabama, to start some shit. All right? Some real shit. Where Jake ain't gonna give a fuck about no paperwork. He ain't gonna give a F about none of that. Jake just gonna make something happen. All right? Jake already see that the government is doing what they're doing. You know? So the future is prominent. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of death. It's gonna be a lot of death. It's gonna be a lot of casualties on both sides. But who gonna win in the end? Israel, through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and the elect. All right. When these things start to ensue on the planet Earth, us hopeful believers, us hopeful elect, should I say, we ain't to be getting involved into these clashes and letting our emotions get the best of us. We understand what time we living in. We'll know if the Most High want us to get involved, you know, because it'll be threshing time on the threshing floor. Okay? So I'm gonna cut it there. No, I went pretty long this time. But Lord will, you know, there was some edification that came through this video, this in transit, through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shemel Rashad. And we on to the next one. Shalom.